Hello and welcome back to step 3. And in this video, we're going to go ahead and install the Kubernetes K3s on our 3 Kumrui, whatever you want to pronounce them, mini PCs that you see here in front of you. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to log into what we're going to call the control plane. Some people call it the master. So we're going to SSH into that device, which we set up as 192.168.2.8. Assuming I remember my password, which I do. Right, so before we start, we have to make sure that our system is up to date. So we want to do sudo apt update, put in our hack-proof password of Cisco123. Let it do what it wants to do. Let it fetch some stuff. And now we can see a list, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go right to that -y. Now you can do this all in one line, but I'm not. And the -y just automatically goes. So since my system's already been upgraded, it's we're good to go. Now one of the next things we want to do is make sure that curl is installed, which I believe is installed by default anyway. We can just make believe we want to install. I believe it's just going to be that. So curl's going to allow us to do, yeah, it's installed. Like I said, I think it's installed by default when I installed the OS on here. But if you want to see our OS to make sure we are having the right OS, oh, no, it's lowercase a. We're on this. So we're good to go. So the next thing is, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and install our Kubernetes K3s on our control plane. And we're just going to go ahead and enter this command here. Now, all the commands I'm using will be put down below. Well, won't be put down below. There'll be a link to them down below. Now this is going to install the latest and greatest version of the K3s Kubernetes. There is a way that you can install just a particular version if you want to, but we're going to just install the latest and greatest. So we're going to hit the magic enter key here in a second. And let's see what happens. All right, so what a lot of people recommend is that you should want to disable your firewall. And you can see your firewall is disabled, which I don't know mine is. It's inactive. So yours is active. You just have to do. Oop, I don't want to do that. I want to do. I want to do disable to disable it, and that will disable your firewall, right? And then of course to enable it, I just hit that, and we don't care. I'm still connected. All right, you can see it's active. Now if you want to see exactly what's active, there you go. So now let's go ahead and disable it again. It's disabled, and it sees inactive. So now we're good, right? So now we don't have to worry about this. Since this is a lab, we don't care too much about the firewall. Obviously, this is in production. You're going to want to figure out what needs to be open and all that stuff. Now, the documents at the K3s does have all the ports that need to be used. They're open, so you can go from there if you want to mess around with your firewall and see if you can do it that way. But initially, I would do it without the firewall on, so you can at least see how it works right away, and then you can start playing around with the rules to lock yourself down and lock this down. All right, so you can see we have this all here, nice and neat. Now the next step is to confirm services on this system here. So let's see what happens here. Oh. All right, so we can see that service is running. Now we want to see if, let me move that mouse out of the way for you. Right here we can see that we're running again too. So that's pretty good. Next, we want to go ahead and create a local directory because we're going to put in a standard config. Also, at the same time, we want to set up the Kubernetes so we don't have to use sudo a lot to get certain information from the Kubernetes or the K3s. So we're going to make it so this user, KUB, can enter those commands too. The first step is we're going to make a hidden directory. Right? Big deal, hidden directory, right? It's going to be in this same directory that I'm in. I'm going to put underneath this user, my user KUB. So I'm not going to do anything fancy other than make dir dot KUBE. Hit that, do an ls-a, and there you can see it right here. Right? And then the next thing is I'm going to copy. We want to copy that into the file we just made. Really don't need that squiggly thing, but let's see what happens. Now we can go into that CD. We can go ahead and cat that right away. Let's see if we have permission. So we don't have permission. So next thing is we want to do the following here because we want to give this user, the KUB user, let me see if that works. I'm using a type of console here, so. Yeah, okay. So that worked. So now our KUB user can access that file here, right? So we can do an ls-l KUB. I hit that. And now we can see it's under our username. So that's good. Now we can sit there and run some Kubernetes commands, right? So, all right, CUB, then hit the tab key, and then we can see what we have here. Oops, nodes. All right, so we're ready. So we have our controller here. So now the next step is we need to grab something here, right? So what we want to do is we want to grab the token, and this token from the control plane here, or master, whatever you want to call it, is needed to add. You need it to add them to the install of the agent on these other two here. So this, for example, let's say this is the control plane, right? So we have that one installed. Now we want to put the agent, but it needs to talk back to the control plane, and it has to make sure it talks back to the right one, not going to some false one. Therefore, we need the token from this one on this and on this. And that way we know it's talking to the right control plane. So let's move this crappy thing out of the way. And then the next command will be, there's going to be my control. It's a big bunch of letters. All right, so see, we're going to sudo cat, blah, 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 rancher and all that stuff. And then see, it comes right out. There's our control. We're going to need that, so you're going to have to remember that. And so now next, I'm going to go into our first worker, and then we're going to install the agent. So now we're going to go ahead and log into our other system. So let me split the screen here, and then we're going to do SSH, and we're going to go into our first worker, which is going to be .9. It's going to be KUB again. 9. Let's hope I remember our great password. Oh, that's a yes. All right, so now we're in our worker 1. And so what we want to do is we want to, let's see if we can make this little command a little bigger here. So we're going to use curl. We're going to get, again, the K3s code, sudo, and this is going to be the control plane IP address. In other words, this IP here, the top one here, okay? All right, and then the token is this big, long thing right here. It's going to be copied in here, okay? So it's going to look something like this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, and let's see if it actually works. All right. Again, all this stuff's going to be, there's going to be a link below where you can find all this great stuff. Oh, it's 2 lines. That's not going to work. Let's find out. Now the dog's barking because he knows I made a mistake. Now it's going to take me a few minutes to figure out what the mistake is, but I eventually find it. Like in all my videos, I always make a mistake, and I figure it out eventually. But hey, we'll all do it. So let's continue on with the video here and see if you can see how long it takes me to figure it out. All right, so if we want to see my mistake, it's not going to work. All right, let me show you. Something here. See, timed out. All right, so that's because my IP address is incorrect. So let me see something here. Let's try it again. Now, we have them. So now you can see that the other worker is now installed. Also know that this is good. For now, we're going to go ahead and exit out of that. And then we will go to our next one on 10 and do the same thing. All right. What do I have here? Nope. And we got to change the IP address. All right. Hit enter. Put in our password. Now we are set. Now we have our 2 workers connected to our 1 master here. So now, there you have it. our clusters installed. So again, we have our control plane, which is here, and then we have our two workers, which are down here. So basically, here's the physical mini PCs, control plane, worker 1, worker 2. So that's it. So in our next video, we're going to go ahead and show you how to install a couple applications that you can run on the K3s. So that's going to be our next video, where we install a couple things. Not too many, but just give you the general idea. And then you can go back and do it on your own. So with that, I hope everyone have a happy and wonderful day. Until the next video. Good day.